Good morning, Jennifer at Porcelynne here, and this is my daughter Emily. I'm sure you've seen her in my other videos.
This is Rex.
I just got this at IKEA yesterday, so she's now in love with this stuffed animal. We are going to be doing a live sew along. Today we're not really doing any sewing, but we're going to talk about the different fabrics, how to measure, to pick the right size. And as a bonus, I actually, for the next, I think 6 days until I think Thursday, I have all my patterns are 25% off on my website, so you can always get yours at slightly discounted. Okay, so this is the Christina sports bra. I'm gonna go to down here. Okay, I want to show you kind of some of the samples that I have. Oh, it looks like we have to move things up a little bit to be in the screen. So this is my stash of sports bras. So in this, I actually have a number of my Christina and a number of my Laurel sports bras in here. Some of them are falling apart because I wear these, and some of these were even samples, so they weren't even the final one. This one, and I actually have, I think, 3 different band sizes in this lot, so you can see some are real big, some are real wide, and yes, these are all ones that I wear, and none of them actually fit me correctly. So I think these 2 down here on the bottom were a 40 band. I think this one was a 38, and this one was a 36 band. And so I just wanted to kind of show you briefly. This one is the Christina. This one is the first Christina I did. This one I believe was actually a 48 or 40J. This is now too big on me. So I've lost some weight last year, so I'm really would like to make one that actually fits me. And so that's kind of the purpose of this. So I'm forced to kind of make something for myself, but also you can make something for yourself. This one was actually one I did, and you can see it's fallen apart. I do not like how I constructed this. I believe this is how I did that original, the sewing video for the Christina. So I'm going to show you a different way that clean finishes this, so it's not going to look like this. It's going to look more like this. So it's clean finished. There's nothing sticking out inside that strap. I'm also, as you can see, we have this down here, which could cause irritation. So I'm going to make this a little bit fancier. And so you can see it's like that on all of these. I'm actually going to try and enclose it like I did on this one. So that way the seam is not sticking on the outside. So these are just a couple examples. Like I said, this one's a little bit too big. In general, this fabric was in a scuba. And the scuba fabric, it's pretty firm, and this is actually firm too. What I would recommend is if you want to do a scuba fabric, you may want to size up 1 cup size because it has a little less stretch. Now this one I was fine with actually how I did it, but this scuba was a lot more firm. So this had no stretch going up and down, and I found that this one was actually a little bit too tight for me. So this is the one that sits in the bottom of my drawer in case nothing else fits, but it's also the 36, and I'm not a 36 band. Okay, so this one was actually the Laurel. Let me kind of go through. So that's a scuba fabric. So scuba fabric, if you're going to use a scuba fabric, I would recommend going up a cup size. This one was made in spandex, and this was actually one of the last samples I did before I finalized the pattern. This is a horrible fabric to use. You can see it's so stretchy that when I wear this, it looks like I have a sack of oranges being held down around my waist. So I do not recommend swim fabric. If you want to make this as like a swimsuit and you want to use a swim spandex, make sure that you are more firm going up and down than going across, and I think I may have screwed that up on this one. But I would also go down a size or 2 so that way it actually doesn't stretch too much. This fabric is one of the ones I did with the kits last year. So this was the one with the recycled spandex recycled polyester. And I really love this. I love the fit of this. I love the feel of it. And I think I have a little bit in purple left. I'm not sure where my purple one went. So this fabric was really nice. I actually had used Power Net on the inside, but I got a lot of feedback that the Power Net on the inside was a little scratchy for some people. So all of these are basically lined with that Power Net. This one is a very similar fabric to this. This is also one of my more comfortable ones to wear. It is a little bit stretchier, but again, they're all a little bit too big for me at this point. And this one, this is actually the one I was wearing yesterday. This fabric was actually too stretchy. So this one was actually kind of more, it's a heavier weight, so it would have been better as a bottom weight, but it just became too stretchy. As you can see, I even pinched out some of the strap because it just stretched too much. So had I cut this on the other grain of the fabric, it may have stretched a little bit less, but this one doesn't really support me at all. So looking a little bit further at the fabrics. Oh, it says my mic is rubbing on something.
Switch the mic back to the other side.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just seeing that over there. Okay. Can I just put it in there like that?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that better? Let me know if that's better. I switched the mic to the other side. Okay. So here is, this is actually a scuba fabric that I have. This has very little stretch kind of going in the length, a little bit of stretch going this way. I had bought this originally for the kits that I did last year, and I never have kind of forgot I had it. So this is a fabric that I am more than willing to sell at basically $5 a yard. I think I've got 4 yards left. So if you want to just send me an email if you would like this fabric, I will put this fabric up for sale. It is polyester, so it does not breathe, but right now in the winter, it may be beneficial. So the fabrics that I have in my kit now, so these are the ones I just purchased. Emily, can you kind of move your dinosaur out of the way? These are it's a nylon spandex, and it is really, really soft and really luxurious. And as you can see, it doesn't have too much stretch. It has a little stretch in both directions, but this is kind of the stretch that you want to find. So as you can see here, it's firm both ways. So the stretchier side I'd probably have so it goes around your body, and then the firmer will go up and down. So this one, I may actually, looks like I may end up wanting to cut this. Let's see, where was it? It's actually stretchier in the length than the width. So you might want to consider stretching in the other, or cutting it in the other direction if you're a larger cup. But if you're a smaller cup, you should be fine with it, especially lining it with this fabric. So this is a wicking nylon. So this is I'm trying to read the comments also as you see. Good morning, everyone. So this is also a nylon spandex, but this has wicking on it. So this will absorb and keep you from getting really, really stinky. So this is what I'll do for the lining. It's really soft. So these are what's in my kits right now. So you can always purchase one of these kits if you want. If not, you just want to use a fabric that has no more than probably a 20% stretch. Anything over than that, then you may want to have a firmer lining. Okay, hold on one second. Okay, does that look a little better? Sound better?
We'll find out.
Okay, my husband's also watching the stream, so he's checking my audio. He worked in Hollywood for, I don't know, 10 years, and so he knows sound and everything. Okay, so Emily, can you please step away? Okay, so this is the elastic that I used for both the straps and the bands. It's a 35 millimeter elastic. And this is what the pattern was designed for. But if you don't have this size elastic, you can use, you can vary it, and I can show you next week how we can alter those patterns for a different elastic. So you can see this one is a nice stretch. If you get anything too firm, it could end up becoming a little bit tight on you. But this one is plush on both sides. I have it in black and in white. But this is what I use. You can kind of see here. I actually do the straps, so you kind of have the plush side here and just have kind of the fabric wrapped around it. So that way it stays pretty soft on here. Emily, please get the dinosaur out of here. Thank you. I also use that elastic for the bottom. Now this bra is a little different in that it is not designed to be tight on the waist. So it actually sits further up on the body. And the reason for this is that I've actually been suffering from acid reflux since I had my daughter. And so the bands that go straight across would just really hurt me. And I would, after a few hours, I just want to rip this thing off. So I decided I wanted to design one that kind of followed the underbust a little bit better, and it took the pressure off of my rib cage right here. And with them crossing, it kind of gives you a little bit more flexibility right here. You checking my audio again?
Remove it from you and on the table.
Here.
You might hear the table if you hear the table. We'll see.
Okay. I said much better. People have responded that was much better. Okay. Okay, I'll try not to touch the table too much. So this was kind of the whole reason why I did this series of sports bras. So the Christina was the first. This actually I think is the Laurel, but just so you can see, or maybe this one, I can't remember which one is. Yeah, I think this one's actually the Laurel. But the same design kind of comes into play. The reason why I did this, so it crosses over, is so when you have it right at this point, it's not going to be too tight. And so one big question I had, oops, I'm out of frame. Hopefully you saw that. The camera must be a little bit too far that way. So what I was saying is that you don't have the pressure right there. Oh, now we. Oh, you got it down. Okay. Just correcting the technical bits. Yep, it's live. We'll hash this all out, so next week will be a whole lot easier. But thanks for watching, anyways. Okay, so this actually I can't cut, stop and say over again, like I do when I'm my recorded ones. So the idea is that the body of the bra itself is what holds all of the support, which is why the sides are high and the back is fairly high. So that way the body of the bra is actually what gives you the support in the bra and not the band. So when we do next week, after we cut it out, we're going to baste together one of the layers, and then you're going to try it on to see if that layer actually should hold you up on its own without the band. And the band is just kind of to help wrap it around to keep it from stretching out of shape. Let's see. But yeah, this one's the Laurel with the Christina band. This one is the Laurel, just the straight Laurel with out the adjustable straps. This one is the straight Laurel. This one's the Christina that was a work in progress. This one's the Christina as well. And then I did a number of mashups with the, this one's also the Laurel. I don't know where all my Christinas are. I had a whole bunch. They're probably the ones I wear. They're probably in the bottom of the laundry basket. So let's move that there. And I also forgot to mention the other elastic. This elastic is what's used around like the neckline and armhole. And this is just to kind of help keep it from stretching out of shape. The ones you have in your kit, I think, was 8 millimeters because that's what I had access to. This one's a little bit narrow. I think this one's a 7 millimeter. But either size will work, and I'll show you how to construct it so it goes correct. Okay, so now let's switch to camera 2. Is that right? No, camera 3. There we go, camera 3. So now you see me. Okay, Emily, you have to move. I cannot take measurements. So, I'm not going to measure you, honey. You've got a big head. So, thanks for watching again. And I'm a little bit scattered because this is my first live, as you all notice. Emily, I need you to move because I'm going to show measurements over here. Okay, so to take your proper measurements, you want to do the under bust as snug as possible. And this is preferred to do under, basically kind of on bare skin. So if you're going over clothes, it could add a whole extra inch to it. And you don't want it to be too big. I prefer to have mine, just seeing how the other ones wore, and if I continue to try and lose weight, I would prefer mine to be a little bit on the snug side than on the loose. Because when you have them loose, so if it's too loose in the body, your breast could begin to sag in the bra itself because the bra is not holding it up. And that's what's kind of happened with me with most of mine. So some of the videos you've seen, like my boobs look like they're hanging because the bra itself is actually too big for me. So you probably, go towards a smaller size. But so take your under bust and record that. So here, this lady is 27. If you are, actually, I'll show you on the paper how to do that. So we have 27. Can you remember that, Emily? 27?
27.
No, I didn't say that. I said remember it, not grab the tape measure. And then you're going to take your full bust and fairly snug as well. Make sure you do have a fairly good fitting, or you just hold your breast up enough, or you'll be going back and forth with trying to figure out the best size. And so this lady is 34 across the full bust. So what did I say underneath? 27, not 72. 27 for under and 34 for full. Okay, and let's come back to the chart on here. So some of you may have had some issues trying to figure out how the chart works. The first numbers you want to look at are the top 2 rows, whether you're doing imperial or metric. And the number at the top tells you what band size it's going to be. And the next line here is your under bust. So you want to find your under bust measurement on that second line, and that'll tell you which band it is you need. So whether you're doing the metric, that would be down here, find your under bust here, and then pick your, Emily,
This
I
is
know you,
mine.
yes, I understand, but T-Rex does not get a bra.
Yes, it does.
So here for this lady, she is measuring 27. And so we're going to take it and use the 28. Now I would round up to the nearest whole number, especially if you're kind of in a half. But if you're right on the cusp, if you're 27 and a half, I'd probably go up to the 30 band. So anything, between the 26 or basically like 25 and a half up to 27 for the under bust would actually work out. Okay, still hearing a lot of static. Is that off the table now, I'm guessing? I didn't see when that comment came up. Once you figure out your sports bra size, you're then going to scroll down that column. So here we have that 28, because this is what she's going to be. We take the 28 and we'll go all the way down to that full bust measurement, which we have is 34, and then that'll tell us the cup size. So then we have the F cup. So for her, my dress form is the 28F. So coming back to me, we're going to do mine. So my under bust, and that's the wrong side of the tape measure. And I'm over clothes, so I'm going to make this extra snug because I have to count that I've got clothes on. Okay, so this is telling me I'm 36. So 36, that will put me into a 38 band. And then I'm going to come across here, and I am closest to probably the 45. So 45. So 36 band down to 45. So I am an I cup. So my cup size did go down a little bit, and because I am also going over fabric, I may even want to go down to the H cup, just because I know how the other ones were fitting me. Of course, this is not the same fabric, so I'll probably just stick with the I for this first one. So that's how you pick out your size. Yeah, we're getting static off and on since it's moving on the table. Okay. Emily, please stop touching the table, okay? So, honey, you want to do anything about the static on the table? It's staticky on the table. Can you clip it onto the computer? Yeah. Okay. Okay. He's working on it from the other room. So once you have picked out your size, you can then. Okay, I've got the right camera on, but I'm looking at the bottom. Okay, what else do we need to cover? We got the fabrics. We have the size range.
How to make it.
Well, we're going to go over that in a little while.
Hang on one second.
Okay. Okay, so we've got the fabrics we covered, the materials, like the elastics. We have how to do the measuring, and I covered a little bit on, excuse me, on the instructions itself. Now, I guess if you guys, any of you have any questions for me kind of right now before we can see what else we can do to move on. Because this might be all I need to cover. I'm sure there's something major I'm completely forgetting. I also didn't mention that my patterns are interchangeable. So you may have actually seen that when I showed some of the sports bras. So I might have a Christina front with the Laurel back. And so they're all interchangeable with the same size. And let's see. No comments as of right. As you can see, I'm starting to get my sewing room in order. I started pulling my fabrics from the closet out here. So I'm starting to feel it's all athletic fabrics. So I have no excuse not to do my sewing, so it's just me, my sewing selfish. Yeah, the size chart is on the website, and it does look like this with the sports bra. This whole pattern sheet is also it's also available on the blog, and I can actually I'll put a link in once we finish this. I'll put a link in the video so you can actually download the pattern set itself, so you can see it printed before you even get it. What, honey? If you want adjustable straps and want the kit, do we need something additional? If you want to do adjustable straps, yes, I have some 35 millimeter. If you want to do the thick straps like I have like this, I do have some 35 millimeter slides that you can use, and we can use the slides for both parts. I decided that was better than getting the rings too, because if a ring that size would probably cause a little bit of scratching and irritation in the back. So I got the ring. So if you order, I got the slides. You can order these 2 pairs of slides. So that gives you enough for the adjustable. And all you'll do on the pattern is you'll just make your pattern a little bit longer. I would probably even add about an extra probably 6 inches to the strap pattern if you want to make it adjustable. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you, we're going to make it a little bit longer anyways, and I'll show you how you can adjust it. So next week we'll go through talking about the base pattern, getting the fit right on that, and then taking the strap, we're going to attach it in the back, making it a little bit extra long, and then we can adjust it for the right length. So we can do that, or if you want to actually make it adjustable, you can do that. You know, the fabric is fairly stretchy. If you are a larger cup size, you're probably going to want to stabilize it, so keep it so this won't stretch. I like them so they stretch, but you know, some of my fabrics, like I showed you the one with the athletic fabric, it just stretched too much, so I end up having to take it in. So this one would have been better with the adjustable, but this fabric was really thick, and I don't think the adjustable would work really well on that. So if you're going to do the adjustable, you can't use a really thick fabric. Let's see. Is it still hard? Is it still hard to hear, honey? Okay. Let's see. Anything else? Let me know. Let's see. I have done this whole string of videos and tutorials for the sports bra already. And I did that when I first created the pattern. So that was about 2 years ago I did that. And I have changed how I do a little bit of the construction. So you can always refer to that as well as what I'm going to do with the lag sew along. And then we need to, the static is worse now than before. Well, these are all things we will check. So before next week, we'll probably do another little test. Oh, I think we're pretty much done, honey. So do you want, we can just test that later on our own. Well, I knew that today was going to be a learning experience for all of us. So please let me know if you have any questions. We will not have the same setup next time. We will be actually cutting and then moving to the sewing machine. So we will work on testing that. We didn't test with the microphone, so I do apologize. We did test with the cameras, going back and forth, like to that, and then to that. And we even have this one. So we have 3 different cameras. So we got that all set up. And we'll make sure that this works for next time. But let me know if you have any questions. I just wanted to kind of go over the measuring, the chart, the materials, and that really kind of gets us going. And there is a sale right now for 25% off of these patterns. And I think that is about it. You'll be needing a straight stitch that can do a zigzag or an overlock machine. I'll probably be jumping back and forth between my straight stitch and my overlock. I will be doing a lot of basting. So I like to base stitch the waistline. Honey, the microphone is on the table, so as you're playing on the table, it's causing static, okay? So we're trying not to touch the table right now. Anything else you need to have ready for next time? Really just have all your materials ready. Yeah, I saw that. I talked about the slides I have on my website. You can search the website for the slides. It's M835B, and that gives you the 35 millimeter. If you don't want to use the strap elastic at all and you want to use like a 1 inch or a different size, you can always get a slide that'll match whatever size you want to use. And you certainly don't have to make covered straps. You can make a solid satin strap, or do a variety of different things, like have a multi-strap. I won't be going over all that into the in the instructions. Okay. Is there anything? Is there ways to adapt for front closure? I'll try and explain that next week. So right now, sorry if the static, I'll try not to touch this too much. You would have to basically cut the pattern in half to have it come like this. So you have this waistband that would have to be cut in half. What you can actually, you can kind of see on this right now, and unless you have the pattern piece in front of you, there becomes an angle right here. And so what you can do is you can just take where that angle starts and just go square it straight down. And you can use that for that zipper line. So you can actually cut this strap, this waistband piece right there. And then you would make this, you couldn't cut this on the fold, you have to add seam allowance to it. And then you can attach your zipper. I wasn't going to do that for this. I actually do have plans to make a zipper front bra later this year that will actually have, we will be able to still interchange everything, but it'll go through a little bit more on making it a front closure. You'll need to make sure that if you are going to do a front closure, I'm assuming you're going to do a zipper. You just want to make sure that the zipper is going to be long enough. If you want to do a hook and eye, of course you can also do that. You may end up having to do like a single row, like just the single, so there's one hook line and one row line, or one hook line and one eye line, so that way it can be closed right at the front. The zipper gets a little trickier, and I wasn't going to go over those steps on actually putting the zipper into this, but you can certainly adapt that for it. And you can always remind me when I am sewing, when we're cutting this out next week, where we would change that pattern. Because I don't have the pattern pieces right here. We should be able to do that. Okay. Let's go back to. So anything else? I think we're good to go. So yeah, if you're going to do adjustables, you can get your slides. If you want to do a front closure, you'll need to get your zipper, your hook and eyes. And I'm not going to be able to go over all those steps. I do have a video on how to do the adjustable strap, but if you know how to do adjustable straps, it's the same. It's just going to be a little bit thicker, so you're really going to have to pull it in there. Other than that, I think we are good for today. I figured today was going to be a good short day, so we can hash out all of these issues, and we'll fix the microphone issue for next week. But I'll see you next Saturday at 11 a.m. And as we're doing this, let me know if you like the idea of doing the live one or if you prefer the recorded ones. You know, I want to know kind of where I should take my focus this year. Now that my business is actually out of the house, I can start spreading out. So we're going to start looking at how we can change our camera setup and make it so we actually would be easier to do more live if we wanted to do more live. But thank you all for watching, and you can still comment if you have any more questions. And if anyone wants to buy any of that scuba fabric, I've got 4 yards of it. Just send me an email at jennifer@porcelynne.com. Yep, they're just saying thank you. And thanks for watching. Thanks. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Rex.
Stop immediately. Okay. Okay, I stopped it on YouTube.